Today we have this wonderful question. It's a true or false question. We are on the left hand side. We have a series of numbers, which is 1 by 2 multiplied by 3 by 4 into 5 by 6 and up until 100. If you notice one thing, the numerator is made up of odd numbers and the denominator is made up of even numbers. The true or false statement which we need to find out is the product of all these fractions, does it is it less than 1 by 10 or not. Let's start solving the problem. I'm going to write the series again. We have 1 by 2 into 3 by 4 into 5 by 6 all the way up until we have 97 by 98 and 99 by 100. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to assume the value for this to be a variable. Let's say it is a. Okay, and now I am going to start creating two equations based on this. Okay, now the first equation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out what is 1 by a, that is the reciprocal of a. So the way I can write it is 1 by a is nothing but the denominator goes to the numerator and the numerator goes to the denominator. So this way I can write it as 1 by a is nothing but 2 by 1 into 4 by 3 into 6 by 5 all the way. Again we have 98 by 97, then we have 100 divided by 99. Let me quickly erase this one. Okay, there we go. Right. I am just going to keep it this way, and the another equation what I'm going to write is I'm just going to multiply 101 on both this particular equation. Okay, so what I have will be 101. Oops, sorry. So I have 101 times a equal to 1 by 2 into 3 by 4 into 5 by 6 all the way up until 97 by 98 into 99 by 100 into 101, just because I multiplied the 101. Here I'm just going to reorder the fractions. Okay, the way I'm going to read out this fraction, this one will be always 101 into a. Okay, the way I'm going to reorder this fraction is I'm just going to bring this particular numerator like one spot before this fraction, and the 5 moves over here. Then similarly, so that I just don't want to keep this one as a separate one, and there is a reason I'm doing it. So moving on, moving this one to one place before, we have 3 by 2. Okay, and now we have 5 by 4, and here it will be actually 7, so we will be having 7 by 6, and then we move on here. Then the fraction before this, so 97 will go here, but it would be made of 96. Yes, 96 into 99 moves on here, so that would be 99 into 98, and finally we have 101 divided by 100. Now this is very important, so what I've done is I've just reorganized the fractions. I have not added any numbers except for 101. Now we have these two equations. Okay, so let's say we have these two equations, right? And I'm just going to write it down again. This equation on this side, we have 1 by a and we have 101 into a. Now I'm just going to write 3 by 2 here. Okay, and then here this is going to be 5 by 4 into 7 by 6 all the way up until, I'm just going to write the last two terms. So this one will be 99 by 98 into 101 by 100. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to, here we have like around 50 terms, and then here we have around 50 terms. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to compare these two equations. Okay, so the way I'm going to compare is, I'm just going to compare the first two terms. Okay, the first term I'm going to compare. So we have 2 by 1 and we have 3 by 2. In this case, the answer is 2. We get 2 here. This equals 2, and 3 by 2 is 1 by 5. Right, so which means that 2 is greater than 1 by 5. So the first term, this one is, so 2 by 1 is greater than 3 by 2. Or in the other way I can write is 2 by 1 is greater than 3 by 2. Similarly, if we look into 4 by 3 and 5 by 4, what I can decide is 4 by 3 is going to be 1.33 equivalent, and 5 by 4 is 1.25, which means that is greater. So the first term in the first equation is greater than, the second term in the first equation is greater than the second term in the second equation, which means that 4 by 3 is greater than 5 by 4. Similarly, if you keep on performing the equations or equality between the terms between the first equation and the second equation, we can finally derive it as the 1 by a will always be greater than 1 by into a. So how just to recollect, what we have done is, we have two equations. I am comparing the first equation of the first term of the first equation, comparing it to the first term of the second equation, right? And this one will be always be greater, and since it is a multiplication, the products are going to add up. So the conclusion based on these two equations, what I can conclude is 1 by a will always be greater than 101 into a. Okay, so we are going to take this equation, and this equation will play a key role in trying to find true or false. So let's move on to the next slide. I'm going to quickly write 1 by a is greater than 101 into a, and the other way I can write it is, I'm just going to cross multiply. So we have 1 divided by 101 is greater than a square, which again gives us, I'm just going to write a square is going to be less than 1 by 101. Okay, so but our question asks, like, we need to check 110. So one quick rule what we can do over here is, I'm just going to show you extra step. So let's say we have 1 by 3. Okay, so let's say b is equal to 1 by 3 and or 1 by 4. Let's keep it simple, 1 by 4. This is nothing but 0.25, right? And again, let's say c is equal to 1 by 2. This is nothing but 0.5. Or the way we can see it is, whenever the denominator increases, the fraction value actually decreases. So in this way, what I can write is, 1 by 4 will always be less than 1 by 2. Or in another case, I can write 1 by 4 will always be less than 1 by 3. 1 by 3 will inevitably be less than 1 by 2. This is 1 by 2. Alright, so the same applying to this, let's come here. So we have a square is less than 1 by 101. So using this particular theory or the concept, we can write as a square will always be less than 100. There we have it. So in short, we can write a square is less than 100. So a will be less than 10. Hence, to answer the final question, the question whether that particular series, the product of the series is going to be less than 1 by 10, the answer is yes. or yes or true in this case. Um, Thank you for watching this problem. Hope you learned some few concepts with respect to inequalities. As always, enjoy the rest of your day.